I would like to know who are you and what are you up to?
Hi, I'm Mirela Momanu. I'm a street photographer based in Bucharest, Romania. And I'm happy to welcome you and to share with you the secrets behind the camera, behind my camera from street photography.
So when did you start street photography?
Well, this is a very tricky question because I started photography in 2009. But for 2 years, I had no idea, no clue what to do with that photography. So I was thinking, shall I start a studio? Oh, it's expensive, I need lights, I need a lot of things. Shall I start with nude photography? Well, I need the models. Should I start with landscape photography? Well, I'm too lazy to wake up in the morning at 4 a.m. to go on the mountains. Oh, street photography, street, look, it's here, it's there, it's everywhere. It's in the morning, it's in the afternoon, it's at noontime. It's in Paris, it's in Rome, it's in Barcelona, it's in Bucharest. So street photography is everywhere. It's the easiest way to express yourself.
Why street photography?
Well, street photography seems to be easy to approach, but it's so difficult to manage. Why? Because you have to find the right time, the right moment, to press the shutter at the right moment, not to be shy to press the shutter. You need to be to have a sharp eye. You need to see around you. You need to be curious. You need to be creative. You need to experiment. You need to learn. You need to learn tutorials. And at the end of the day, street photography is the most challenging part and area of photography. And that is why, being so impossible to understand and impossible to manage, it's so attractive.
So now let's talk a bit about women in street photography. I'd like to hear your thoughts about this topic. It's a very important topic for me and for people that are regarding this, watching this channel. So let's talk about women in street photography, the challenges, and you're the first woman that appears on this series, on the conversation, Word on Street Photography. So you're the first woman that's here for the interview. So let's talk about women in street photography.
Well, this is a very delicate subject, like we are delicate as women. Why? Because we have an advantage as women in street photography, you know? We are lovely, we are smiling, we are nice looking, and we are very friendly and easygoing with the people. Well, most of us. But on the other hand, it's very difficult to be a woman in street photography because we are vulnerable. I mean, imagine a girl, a lady, going in a lonely street at night, maybe to capture some rainy atmosphere, and from a corner somebody can appear. I mean, it's a little bit dangerous. So that's why being a woman in street photography has the advantage of being easygoing with the photography, but on the other hand is dangerous because you are vulnerable. So in order to combine these two, it's better to go out, or at least I prefer to go out with some other girls or ladies. I mean, 2, 3 are enough to be a little bit safe. And to tell a little bit secret, a smile can take you out from different dangerous situations. For example, I was shooting underground. I was alone, which I usually don't do. And one lady came very aggressive to me, and she said, okay, what are you doing? What are you shooting? I said, I'm just experimenting, some camera moving, I'm not shooting you. No, 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 I know you're shooting me. You want me to put on the television. I will take you to the police. And I said, oh my God. And she grabbed my hand. So a lady grabbed my hand and struggled with me and pulled me off the underground to the policeman who was sitting at the entrance. And it was a very funny thing because the policeman looked at her, looked at me, and she said, ma'am, I cannot do anything to this lady street photographer because she's in public space. Here in Romania, the legislation says it's okay to take photos in public space. Look, she can take the photo of me and I can't do anything to her. It's legal. And the lady said, no, 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 but I want that photo to be erased. Of course, you have to respect the people around you. If she said erase it, I just press delete and I delete that photo. But I swear to you, it was not clear, it was not visible. It was just an experiment of moving camera and taking some ghosts, which I prefer. But you see, being a woman on street, it's nice, but in the same time, it's a little bit dangerous. So women are curious, women are sensible, women are emotional. They can feel this, how do we say, that special atmosphere and the special moment. So I think it's very nice and very adventurous to be a lady photographer. Well, the biggest challenges are men. I mean, not men on street, but men in street photography, because a lot of street photographers are male and they are very good and well known. And since the beginning of street photography with Henri Cartier-Bresson, with Laigneau, Elliot Erwitt, and so on, they made great photography. They showed very great photography. They are so implicated in street photography. So it's our duty right now to respond to this challenge and bring our vision, our strategy, our little street secrets, and our charm in our street photography.
Let's keep it to this topic. Can you name 3 photographers that influenced you or 3 photographers that you like or follow? And can we briefly talk about them? Can these photographers be women?
Mm-hmm.
Do you have like 3 women in mind that like inspired you, or?
Yes. First of all, I will start with the male photographers and then I will refer to the female photographers. So the ones who inspired me very much are Elliot Erwitt, which his fantastic sense of humor on street. I have always on my desk at home a calendar with 365 photography of Elliot Erwitt, one for each day. And every day I turn and I smile, I turn and I smile. And I wish one day to have this ability to make other people smile looking at my scenes captured on the street. Well, and then it is Gary Vinograd, which I love very much because it's, as you know, the father of intuitive photography. And I love so much the hip photography style. I mean, you walk casual on the street, your camera is around hip or here, and you just shot, 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 shot. I mean, you feel the moment you press, you feel the moment you press. You don't care about the composition, you don't care about the angle or the straighten of the photography, but it's very nice because you have the brain here, you have the eyes, and you have the camera. So you have to know very well your camera to register at the same time, at the perfect moment, and press the button to take the capture. Well, and now we come to the Vivian Maier, which of course right now is the most famous so far female photographer. Why? Because she captured the photos for herself, for her soul. As most of us may know, her images were found many years after she passed away, and there were, how do we say, a dedication to the world which she spotted in her time through her eyes. And this is very important because, first of all, we have to make street photography for us, for ourselves, to please ourselves, to express ourselves. And then, which of course we can these days do very easy, to share with others what we liked, what we enjoyed, and what we captured. And then we come to the modern days with the street photography. It's very easy to find good names in street photography. I will name just some ladies which I had been very honored to work with. For example, Lara Kantardjian from UK. I have been with her the curator in a famous site of photography in the world. Laigneau, which I had an exhibition with her in Chicago a couple of years ago. Valerie Jardin. I love also Orna Naor from Israel, and Daphna Yosha also. I mean, these days it's so easy to find good street photographers and to follow her due to the abilities that internet provide us. I mean, just look on Instagram, you'll find the group Women in Street, which shows every day new and fantastic captures from ladies in street. And it's a pleasure for me to wake up in the morning, open the Instagram, see this lovely group, and to discover more and more names every day. So ladies, you rock.
Now I see you're fascinated by silhouettes and black and white and movement. Are these your main interest in street photography?
Well, my biggest passion in street photography is a new style recently developed. It's called fine art in street photography. Sorry, I'm so emotional that this goes beyond my words. So this means I am always looking for those scenes who provide a special light, a special geometry, a special atmosphere, special movements, special shadows. I mean, just imagine if you can print a photo and hang it on the wall and wake up in the morning, look at it and smile. For me, this is fine art in street photography. So actually in the beginning, of course, I started with geometries, street geometries. Then I went to silhouette. Why? Because for me silhouettes are always giving a big impact to the photos. I mean, you have a nice background and you have a nice light and you have that silhouette who just gives life to the background. And then I started to try to experiment the movement. Why? Because in my opinion, in my humble opinion, the speed of the camera is the most creative tool you can use. I mean, you can freeze a movement or you can capture a ghost. Of course, you cannot see a ghost with your eyes. We don't even know if ghosts exist. But in our photos, they do. They do. Just use this slow shutter speed and you can start from 1/20 to 1/6, even 1 second, and you'll discover the world of ghosts around you. So these are my favorite approaches of street photography. But in the last years, I started to experiment. Why? Because I'm very easily getting bored. So when I get bored, I say, okay, now what? So imagine one morning you wake up, you drink your coffee or one tea, and you try to wrap a sandwich, and you look at the wrapping foil and you say, what if I can put this foil, that plastic transparent foil, on my camera and shoot through it? Okay, let's try it. And I started with this plastic foil on my camera. I got beautiful results. Why? Because if you're shooting in contre-jour, all the lights, we have some twinkle, some flash around the subjects, which are, you cannot do it in Photoshop or with other filters, so it's natural, it's easy. And then I started to look through a crystal ball or through a crystal prism or through a roll of film, a developed roll of film, and the results are amazing. So I was starting, I said, okay, maybe this is not street photography, but definitely it's an experimental urban photography. So therefore I initiated sort of a movement or workshops, a series of workshops to try to show to people and to encourage to use all these creative accessories which you can put in front of the camera, shoot through them, and obtain some very beautiful results, which goes to fine art photography. We talked before about fine art in street photography. I think these creative experiments leads us very much to this beautiful frame you can print and hang it on the wall. By the way, I would like to add here that Sol Later, for example, which was one of the first members of In Public group, he used to have this kind of approach. I mean, he was always using something in foreground, which was out of focus, and focused on the subject in the background, and create a dynamic play between foreground and background. So kind of a step by step to put something into a capture to give you that feeling, that atmosphere, that special mood that you have like in front of a picture. Well, it goes very much to the artistic side. So therefore, this is my latest project, urban experimental photography, which leads me to color, because you told me before you're in black and white. Yes, I have been in black and white, because black and white gives atmosphere to the captures, enhance the story, brings life to the characters. But now color offers us joy. Look us in these troubled times, in this pandemic, when all of us, each of us, even me, we have anxiety, we have fear of maybe going out. So these colors and this artistic mood and these experiments make us go through another day and look to the future.
Now let's talk a little bit about gear and what are you using to take pictures?
Well, I used to work with several cameras. But since 2014, I'm using only Olympus mirrorless. I started with OMD EM5, and then I upgraded to OMD EM1, and recently I bought OMD EM1 Mark III. Why? Because you know, on street is quite difficult to go with a Canon or a Nikon, which is like 3 kilograms, including the lens, and it was very easy to be spotted. Some captures were very difficult to manage. Why? Because I'm very energetic on street. So I might do like this, or I may do like this, or may do like this, or like this. And imagine going with a Canon or a Nikon or a big lens, like this, like this, like this. Oh, my back. So I choose the small size mirrorless camera, which is for me is Olympus, and I have also another reason for which I prefer this one. It has some presets. It has some presets, which that means some filters are applied. Okay, it's not clean street photography, but for me, which I'm toward the fine art in street photography, it's very helpful. For example, I prefer the grainy film preset. So when I push the button, the final result is black and white with a lot of grain and some vignette capture, which goes very much to the film era. So yes, this is my only camera. I have the 12mm prime lens. I have 45, and I have another one which is 1240, a zoom. Why? Because in my experiments, sometimes I zoom the lens and everything explodes around me. That's it. That is all. That's all.
And how a famous art gallery would come to you and say, Mirela, we need a picture from you, just one picture that you want to be exposed in, like in a famous gallery, famous museum. What would be the picture? And just can you talk briefly about this picture, please?
Yes, it's called The Kiss. And it's an image which is very dear to my heart. It was taken during a photography festival in Vama Veche. As you know, Vama Veche is indie resort at the Black Sea in Romania. And each year they host a photography festival. So I was joining that photography festival as a lecturer. But in the same time, I was enjoying taking photos on the seaside. As you know, in street photography, we can take photos anywhere we want. So even the beach are considered part of street photography. So I went on the beach, and as you know, I like these special effects. And I saw a little horse made out of plastic, and a beautiful girl in white coming on the shore. So I came with the camera very close to that horse, including just the head of the horse in the capture. And I waited for the lady to come until she almost kissed the lips of the horse, and I click. And it's the most beautiful capture. I would love to see it every day in the morning when I wake up, because it makes me smile. Because it, you know, due to the reversed perspective, the horse looks big, although it was a tiny horse, and the lady looks small, and this was like the Beauty and the Beast, like the beauty received a kiss from the beast.
How are the bad days looking for you, and what do you do when you don't feel inspired?
I don't have bad days. Oh, sorry, I'm joking. Of course, we all have bad days, but I'm very optimistic and very curious. And the only problem I have, the real problem, is the lack of time. So when I have a bad day, usually I try to propose myself a theme. Well, that means I open either Facebook or Instagram, and the first photo I see, whatever it is, I set my theme for that day, for that bad day. And imagine what, when you have a theme inside your head, when you go out, you cannot say, I'm in a bad mood. Why? Because your brain helps you to focus on that topic and to find the best images on that topic. And you feel focusing on a particular subject, you detach from the outside world. You detach from your problems, what you have in the refrigerator, or what you have to do for the boss, or what you have to do for the school, or for the work, for everything, and helps you to focus on that particular subject. And as you know, our brain is very powerful, and in the moment you give it something to work on it, it's working and working until you get the best results. So this is what I suggest to you. If you have a bad day, just select a theme, go out, work on that, and you'll see at the end of the trip, most probably you will not be able to stay more than 1 hour and a half, maybe 2 hours on streets, because we all know after this time our attention diminished. But in those 2 hours, it's impossible not to get 3 or 4 images very nice for that theme.
What are the advices that you give to people that are beginners or people that are watching this channel, especially advices to young women or women that are doing or are starting to do street photography?
First, get a good and comfortable pair of shoes. Why? Because street photography is about walking, about going around, seeing, discovering. Secondly, get a camera you are comfortable with. Of course, if you prefer a big one, take a big one. If you prefer your phone, go with your phone. Doesn't matter, but take something you like, you love, and you feel that helps you. Then, watch around. That means look on tutorials, look on movies, look on photography albums, books, watch movies. Everything what is considered a source of inspiration is very important for our aesthetic development. And last but not least, experiment. Try, of course, we look at others, but don't copy. Get inspired, but don't replicate. Try to find your own way. I don't say your own style, because it's very difficult to find a style. Even if you found a style, don't get stuck in it. Try to experiment, try to express, and go beyond your abilities. Always, how do you say, challenge yourself for tomorrow and for the day after tomorrow. And last but not least, have a critical thinking, okay? Well, I love my captures. I love my all 500 captures which I did in 2 hours. But of course I will not post 500 captures out. Be critical with your work. Go home, look on the computer and select 10%, okay? 10% out of 500 are 50 photos, which again is a lot. And from that 10%, select again 10%, which leads to 5 photos. So per total, 1% of your photos will be fabulous. Imagine that even Henri Cartier-Bresson said your first 10,000 images will be the worst. just think that in street photography you cannot capture all the time the perfect moment, and even if it's perfect, next day will be a better one. So be critical with your work and show and post only the best ones. And last but not least, print your works. I mean, the feeling, the satisfaction to see your work printed is incredible, especially that if you have friends and their birthdays are coming, well, what could be a much more personal gift than offer one of your photos, one of your creations, one of your babies, printed, framed, and signed as a dedication. So just enjoy being a photographer.
Now, Mirela, I'm gonna grab a coffee, and if you want to leave a message for the audience of this channel,
it will be my pleasure.
Feel free.
Thank you. Bye. So, dear Octavian, you are really brave to do all these interviews with the photographers from street genre, because everybody out there is very important to know what other people are doing, what other people are experimenting, some tips in photography, and of course there are a lot of tutorials, but the best experience is the one you share with the people around you. I don't think that's all. I could talk until tomorrow about the street photography, the passion, the interviews, and why not just go out there and shoot, you know. In this era when we have the access to internet, it's very important to share with others, but in the same time don't stay just in front of the computer, don't stay just in front of your phones. Go out, explore, develop your photography skills, get inspired, don't copy, and always show your work. So here is a very good chance to share your work through this magic world which is called internet. Thank you.